This Stanley is a billionaire too.
What do you mean, this Stanley?
Well, there's another Stanley who plays on the show who's a billionaire. That's a lot of Stanleys who are billionaires who play on Hustler
Who's
Casino
the other?
Live.
Oh, Stanley. Stanley. Yeah, I know the other Stanley.
Stanley was on my left at the main event on day 2.
He was? Okay.
Yeah, my direct left.
I believe he's a billionaire.
I think so.
This one's definitely a billionaire.
A lot of Stanley. If your name's Stanley and you play on Hustler Casino Live, the chances are you're a billionaire.
That's 2 for 2.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's a lot of money coming into Gardena on a random night. I mean, they don't bring the billion with them, but...
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. You know.
I've seen a 4-bet pot here. Garrett 3-bet. Stanley 4-bets. And one of the problems with 4-betting ace-king offsuit when you are mega, mega deep is you're going to have to play a pot out of position. And you're just not going to make many hands that are better than one pair. Stanley does check, a sneaky check. I like the check. It's going to be very hard for him to have a very strong hand here. Besides aces, he could have aces, but you think about the rest of his range. Kings aren't going to want to bet here. Queens aren't going to want to bet. Jacks aren't going to want to bet. And even a hand like ace-king can't withstand a ton of pressure. So most of the hands that Stanley has prefer checking. And just going with a simplified strategy of checking all your hands here seems to be okay. I don't like the raise quite as much. What you do is you let Garrett off the hook with a weaker ace-x. Whereas if you just check called this flop, I guarantee Garrett would always bet the turn. With both hands like 7-8 suited, 8-9 suited, and also weaker ace-x. Garrett is going to call once. But I think if Stanley bombs his turn, he's going to get away from it.
All in.
So a couple things going on here. 1, 4-bet pots are underbluffed. 2, ace-high boards are underbluffed. 3, check raises on flops are underbluffed. 4, pot-sized jams on turns, and 4-bet pots on ace-high boards are under. Like, it's just a massively underbluffed spot. I think Garrett's going to get away from this.
50, 58, 59, 60, 61, 5.
Oh, God.
10 seconds.
You have a good hand, huh? Feels extremely likely you have a good hand.
Adding 1 minute.
You're gonna have to sell me on it, Stanley. I can't imagine as it is I put more money in here. I don't even have close to a good enough reason. You and your daughter watch me play, you know I'm telling the truth in a spot like this. I'll never put more money in here unless you sell me on it. Never, ever, ever. Yikes. Oh, God. Poker's so frustrating. It's such a frustrating game. Oh, yikes.
Adding 1 minute.
How many of these I owe you?
2 minutes.
All right, here we go.
Thank you so much.
Can't put the money in here. There's no way. Man, it'd be sick if you were bluffing here. I'm trying to even think about what you could be bluffing with. Try to help me with a hand you could be bluffing with. I don't know. What was I supposed to do? I guess I could have done that. I don't know. There's no way. You look like a man who's about to make a lot more money.
10 seconds.
Okay, I'll fold.
Good fold from Garrett.
Garrett's stuck 6 figures right now. It would have gone a lot worse if he made that call.
You believed me, right? You knew I was telling the truth. Have you watched me enough to know that's true?
I know. I
You
didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch
Oh,
it.
that's always
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
So what did he mean when he twice said you'll have to sell me on it? I believe you have the best hand, but
He's just trying to get some type
some
of
read, I know. So
Yeah.
okay.
He's looking for an excuse. He's a 90% convinced he's folding,
Okay.
and he's just looking for some type of excuse to call. The interesting thing I think in that hand is
I do good fold?
I think Stanley may get all of the money if he goes check call, check call. I think Garrett is almost always going to think Stanley has a hand like kings or queens, and he's just going to go for value. And if Stanley goes check call, I think there's a pretty good chance on a clean run out that Garrett goes for thin value on the river. And what I don't see enough, what happens with a lot of these players that Garrett plays with is they are so scared to play massive, massive pots with Garrett. When they wake up with monster hands, they immediately raise and let him know.